Hey guys, and welcome to Top Channel 101, and today we're going to be looking at the best of the best Blender research and development. The Blender community serves as the vanguard for Blender's innovation, diligently stress testing the newly introduced tools. The community stands as the finest research and development community in the industry, showcasing the untapped potential of the software long before anyone else. If you aspire to unlock the true capabilities of Blender, these are the artists whose footsteps you should follow. They delve into cutting-edge features like geometry nodes, the Blender Python module, and much more, providing you invaluable insights into the limitless possibilities that Blender offers. Sometimes their work are so good that they are added as demos in Blender release notes, like the case of Scene Terrell's fluid simulation inside geometry nodes. It's just amazing how much an artist can do with a free tool like Blender. Just give them time and they will demonstrate to you that they will do the unimaginable. This list is going to contain a lot of R&D like this, things that require a great understanding of the program, and artists who have sunk hours and hours of research and development to figure out how to do cool things like this inside Blender, and sometimes even give out their projects out for free, like this free eye generator by Tiny Noki. It is this spirit that has allowed Blender to grow and develop at a speed no other application can match. With this one eye generator, you can create all different types of eyes and different designs. They can be sterilized or look realistic. Check it out in the description. Number 3, we have this lace generator. To tie things up, Popek gives us this amazing shoelace generator that you can use to lace anything in different variations. It's available on the Blender market, so if you want to get it and tie things together, links are in the description as well. Number 4, we have Animating Cups. If you thought you knew everything Blender can do, think again. Higgins shows us that there are more ways to produce content than the usual way. Here, he is playing a video in the viewport as curved silhouettes. Curves are one of the hardest things to work with in Blender, so to see them being used like this is just mind-bending to me. The good old days of Blender, where Blender had a full-blown game engine that you could use to make complete games. It was removed around Blender 2.5, but how fun would it be if it was to make a comeback? Here, Eric on Twitter shows how geometry nodes and Python can be used to control a car's animation with an Xbox controller. There are even particle effects like dust and smoke added. This kind of setup can also be useful for animation. Imagine setting up a run animation you can control via a controller like this. Chase scenes would be 10 times easier to make. And here we have another demo by David using a gamepad to control another car animation in Blender with Blender geometry nodes and Python. Blenderman on Twitter puts it best. This is the power of Blender, babe. What a satisfying, revealing effect. Number 8, we have sorting algorithms in Blender. If you took CS50 programming course, this sorting algorithm demonstrated by Celestial Maze should look familiar. He has a bunch of bars that he's sorting out with different algorithms from left to right, order them in an order of highest to lowest. Number 9, we have Blender Parallax Shader R&D. What Blender really needs is parallax rendering. This is the best way to get a lot of detail in a render without using a lot of polygons. And it seems I'm not the only one who thinks so. Hot Dog Nugget on Twitter just created a shader that does exactly that. The shader also supports self-shadowing, and the detail it captures is insane. The level of detail it captures is not possible with just normals. You may be able to achieve it with displacements, but the level of subdivisions you will need is too great that most computers will struggle rendering it. Number 10, we have this block of cubes that can be turned into a full scene. Bagatini is one artist who does a lot of Blender R&D that if I made a video about his demos only, it would be one day long. Enjoy this R&D demo of how he uses sorcery to conjure buildings out of cube blocks. Number 11, we have strain-based constraint breaking simulation with Blender. This type of simulation was not possible in Blender unless if you are using add-ons like Molecular, but Scene Terrell shows us with some R&D and geometry nodes that he can do it. You can even split meshes And also, this is a soft body simulation, which are notoriously slow in Blender. He also has this satisfying internodal friction demo. I swear simulation nodes are the most underrated part of Blender, but thanks to artists like Sin and their R&D demos, people are starting to appreciate simulation nodes as they should. Number 12, we have Procedural Cloud Shader by Hot Dog Nugget. The clouds are being created by a fully procedural shader. Number 13, we have Water Rendering R&D in Blender. Martinish is another Blender R&D artist I like to follow, especially when it comes to shader creation. In Blender, you can use the absorption node to produce the same effect he showcases here, but it only works with cycles. In this R&D, Martinish shows a way to achieve better results using geometry nodes by calculating mesh proximity and some shader magic. Number 14, we have Fluid Simulation R&D by Martinish. Martinish has some of the best geometry nodes R&D, and I can make a long list of things he has done, but here is a few, including a fluid simulation scene done with geometry nodes. He's able to fake a 3D look, but it's actually 2D. This is the type of results that we expected from Mantaflow, but never got. I'm sure you can achieve it still, but not without a lot of stressing. He also made this procedural ocean using the ocean modifier, and I swear he has the most detailed shots I've ever seen. Number 15, we have Blender Ant Simulation. You probably didn't know this was possible. Well, that's the point of research and development. Globe, like many other artists in this list, shows us how you can simulate ants following trails left by other ants to collect food. Now just imagine replacing the moving dots with animated realistic ants, a realistic cave environment, and you will have an interesting time-lapse of ants. Number 16, we have Nebula Hand R&D animation. If you watched the new Guardians of the Galaxies and loved it, you will also love the fact that you can recreate Nebula's hand-to-weapon morphing animation inside Blender with geometry nodes. If you can't, well then just enjoy Cartesian Caramel's demonstration here. The hand fibers can morph into something else and then back into a hand. You can also see the fibers moving as a muscle. The project is available to download and explore on Gumroad. Number 17, Fluid Simulation in Geometry Nodes. Believe it or not, this is real-time fluid simulation in geometry nodes. It's not perfect yet, but Blender artist Shazod demonstrates here how geometry nodes can be used to create a fluid simulation using geometry nodes. While it does not give a more accurate simulation like matter flow or flipped fluids, this is usable for most projects. Number 18, we have yet another custom fluid solver by Martinish. Martinish made his own fluid solver that also has texture advection inside geometry nodes, so you can easily show that mixing with the fluids. We have hair simulation R&D. You may already know that since Blender 3.5, hair grooming is done inside geometry nodes, replacing the old particle-based hair. The only thing that the geometry nodes-based hair could not do was hair simulation. And before the Blender team could add such functionality, Cartesian Caramel did some R&D and came back to show that the functionality was already there with this geometry nodes hair simulation test. Number 20, we have oil painting effect. Most artists think that Blender is limited to the functionality provided by the built-in tools, but under the hood, you can unlock unlimited ways of using Blender, like what Simon Lee did to render roses in an oil canvas style. You cannot get these results without jumping behind the curtains and start breaking and putting things together in different ways. And finally, at number 21, we have text to video inside Blender. I bet you didn't know this tool existed. This is an add-on by Tin to Tin that can let you generate video out of text inside the Blender sequence editor. And the best thing is that you can download it for free. All links are going to be provided in the description. Thank you for watching. I hope you like this type of content because it shows us where Blender is heading and encourages us to learn more about what it can do. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications.